Hey guys, today I found a new post from a user named sauce underscore fan. It says, is it a bad idea to get an apartment if I could buy a house instead? I am 20 years old, still living with my parents. I'm a carpenter and net around 3,500 a month without overtime. I have no debt right now. I could comfortably drop a $10,000 in payment. Apartment in good areas tend to start around $1,000 per month. Decent small houses start around 150,000. Another wallet calculator says that a house around this price range would cost me around $1,000 per month as well. I already feel overwhelmed between work, lots of overtime, working on projects at my parents' house, online classes, and attempting to have hobbies. Growing up, everyone around me always says that owning is better than renting. I know that ownership makes more financial sense. Past 5 years, I know I want to own a home eventually, but I don't know if it makes sense for me right now. I like the idea of not having to worry about maintenance or spending time in lawn care and having the flexibility to move more easily. I also thought that getting an apartment in a nice area will put me around other professional young people and maybe improve my social life. Not sure if that is true or not. Right now, I'm thinking about getting in a 1 year lease for an apartment to let me get a feel for living on my own. Hopefully, then I would have a better idea of my options. I've also considered getting a fixer upper and working on it myself, but I don't know if setting myself to work for up to 80 hours a week is a good idea. A few things first. I feel like you're way ahead of your like someone in your age and a typical person in your age. Being a 20-year old working has at least $10,000 you can kind of drop on a drop of a hat on the purchase of a house and stuff like that. Um, but I also feel like you're kind of rushing into things, or you're thinking about doing that, which I know you're kind of leaning more towards renting, which is good. But I just don't feel like you need to do you need to move out. Now I can kind of see like if you're looking to move out, not because you're 20 and you kind of feel like you have to live by yourself, but if you feel like you need to move out or you're wanting to move out because you want to get closer and spend more time with the people in your age and professionals, and having a little more social life and stuff like that, I definitely encourage you to do that. Um, and obviously moving closer to the city and all that's kind of give you higher probability. Now, I don't think just living there is gonna help you, do that. But if you're able to, if you're actively seeking that the events and the possibilities and network events and stuff like that, then obviously you would have a more of a chance. But I don't know if you will be able to kind of get a lot of that if you live by yourself, right? Just because. But again, if you are able to maybe become a roommate to somebody who just happens to live in the area you want to be in, and maybe share a place together and just pay the rent, pay the utilities and stuff like that. And there's a lot of benefit to that. One is that you're not going to be paying $1,000 per month just for the place, right? Of course, you have to think about the utilities and internet and all of that stuff. Also, you have to kind of look to furnish the place, right? And maybe it will come with it, but it maybe not. But even if it doesn't, furnishing just a room is a whole lot easier. Room and maybe even a bathroom is a whole lot easier to furnish than to furnishing the entire place by yourself, right? So that would be a good idea for you. And also having a roommate will actually semi force you to kind of be more social, right? And you have to interact with the other person as well, whether you like it or not. And maybe they've been there a while, so they already know the places. Maybe they already have some people they kind of hang out with all the time and stuff like that. Maybe you can start hanging with them, right? Which is kind of a good idea. It makes it easier for you. Uh, but as far as a purchasing versus renting is concerned, again, at your young age, I just don't know if it's necessary for you to do that. Now, as far as the numbers are concerned, right, because you're looking at about $1,000 per month, maybe a little bit more than that, even if you get your own place, again, I encourage you to maybe get something less than that, right? So you can kind of split that bill even lower. But the $1,000 per month on the loan is concerned, that's before your tax and insurance. At $150,000 loan amount with 10% down, or the purchase price with $10,000 down, what's you and I don't know what kind of interest rate you're using, but on a 30-year note in today's market, that's not including your tax and insurance. Now, if it was 3 years ago, maybe when the interest rates were like 3, right, then obviously it's less than that. It could be less than that, but I definitely think it's going to be higher than that with the current interest rate the way they are. So if you were to add in another maybe $100 per month for your taxes, maybe another $100 per month for your insurance, right? That's going to be $1,200 per month. If there's an HOA in the neighborhood, then there's another $100 per month. That's $1,300 per month. Plus you got to pay for your utilities, electricity, water, trash, gas. Maybe there is some internet, stuff like that. That's going to run you somewhere between $1,600, $1,700 per month, just in number wise, right? Which is, yes, you're going to pay $1,000 and $1,100 per month plus utilities, food, utilities and internet and stuff like that. But that's a whole lot of money that you could actually save if you didn't move out. For example, $1,600 per month for next 4 years would be like $77,000, or next $1,700 per month is like $80,000 or more for the next 4 years. So imagine if you have $10,000 now plus another $80,000, that's $90,000 in cash that you would have, in just the next 4 years, and you'll still only be 24, right? So imagine what kind of home you can purchase, at that point. And hopefully your career kind of changes and stuff like that. That's for the mathematics reasons. So I definitely think, unless there's an issue with living at home with the parents and stuff like that with the family, financially speaking, numbers wise, I just don't know if it makes sense kind of for you to move, whether it's now or later. Now, for your social reasons and every other reasons, maybe so. But just, I don't want you to think that just because you live by yourself in a city, that automatically makes you more social, outgoing, and being around people and be able to kind of start up this whole whatever lifestyle that you don't have currently. That's definitely not the case at all. No matter where you live, you just got to be able to surround yourself with the people where you can kind of connect with, the bond with, and stuff like that. And people don't usually do that at home, so your location is not of an issue unless you just can't get to a place, right? So you live in the middle of nowhere, and it's going to take you at least an hour to get to a social event, 2 hours to get to a social event. That's going to be an issue, right? So like if you get off work at 6 o'clock at night, whatever, and you're going to have to drive an hour to get there, 7 o'clock, grab something to eat, blah, 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 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, spend hour, 2 hours, 10, 11 o'clock. By the time you drive home, 12 o'clock, midnight, and it's going to be very, very difficult for you to go back, get up again and go to work. But other than that, if you think, just living in the city is going to help your social life, I don't know if that's going to be true. Again, if you're looking to just, kind of, living a life of adult life, having a little bit of social engagement with other people, with the young professionals and, stuff like that. And, also just, get used to kind of living by yourself and, kind of handling other bills and stuff like that. Try to, test out the water. I definitely think becoming a roommate, instead of you going out and renting a whole place and then looking for a roommate, you could do that too. But I think you're starting off just, finding somebody to room with is actually a better option for you, because again, that kind of reduces a lot of obligation for you, a lot of commitment up front will be like reduced. And like you said, it gives you more flexibility and stuff. I definitely don't think, purchasing the house for the sake of purchasing it is a good idea. I don't think that's necessary at all. You don't have to rush into it because you don't want to get something and then turn around, you have to sell it or, stuff like that, or, worse, fix it, if something goes wrong with it, and there's going to be cost to it, and then you working so much as is. I'm not sure how, easy for you to kind of, start fixing things around the house after long hours of work and stuff like that. So hope that kind of helps. Hopefully I kind of answered your question. I feel like I kind of rambled on a little bit, but please, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, and then share your thoughts, please. Thank you.